Alright, welcome to this four-part series on culture and specifically on deviance and subcultures and countercultures. This first part we're just going to try to answer a seemingly basic question: what the heck is deviance? So we're going to start there. So what is deviance, right? Often when we think of deviance or someone who's being deviant, we think of some hardcore criminal or some really bad person doing a really bad thing. And of course that does qualify as deviance, but we're going to expand our understanding of deviance because it actually encompasses quite a bit more behavior than we usually think. So here's our official definition of deviance, right? A deviant act describes an action or behavior that violates social norms, including a formal norm, right, like a crime, as well as informal norms or violations of social norms, right, or rejecting folkways and mores, all those things we talked about in the textbook. So if you look at this picture on the right, this person literally has a poster with the word deviance on it. He's not technically committing a crime, but can we agree that he's definitely committing some acts of deviance, those sort of informal norms, right? Norms about piercings, right? That we have norms that they're okay certain places, but not others, that a few are okay, but not a whole lot. Violating norms around tattoos, right, where those are okay, where they're not. So again, deviance is really a pretty broad concept, and it's really violating the rules, right, the little rules all the way to the big ones. So if we look historically, things that were very much considered deviant changes, right, up here in this corner. This is an example of, we were all probably familiar with the Red Scare in the 50s, right, the communist scare, but at the same time there was also what was called the, quote, lavender scare going on in the government. And there was an actual law that said if you were gay or lesbian, you were not allowed to work for the federal government. So you had all these people sort of telling on each other and spreading rumors about people's sexual orientation to get them fired, right? So very much being gay or lesbian literally considered deviant back then, right? Laws against someone a homosexual working for the government. Thankfully that's changed. We have another example of deviance, right? Women voting was very much an act of deviance in the past, but of course that has changed. And then in terms of race and ethnicity, right, that was considered very deviant for an African American to be in a, quote, white space, in this case at a white lunch counter. So when we think about deviance, we really want to broaden our understanding of what it is, how it changes over time, right, who gets to decide what's deviant, what's not. Another example, right, not that long ago, right, 1885, not only was it not deviant, but it was actually encouraged for parents, specifically mothers, to treat childhood ailments with heroin and cocaine. Not considered deviant at all. Today, of course, if we found a parent giving their child cocaine or heroin, profoundly deviant. So, right, interesting topic to think about what's changed over time. And of course, what we define as deviant is tied to norms, right, and those rules and how they change over time. Okay, so come back for part 2, and we're going to start getting into theories and their take on deviance.